Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with Dimash and this is Unforgettable Day. Ever since my very first Dimash video, this has been a very heavily requested song, particularly this Gakku performance. Apparently there's a rather infamous little high note that we might need to be looking out for. Pretty much every comment that has recommended this song has mentioned the D8. Dimash wrote this song when he was a teenager. It's a song about longing, a song about love at first sight, nostalgia. This is our 19th Dimash reaction and it's the second of his own original compositions that we will be hearing. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Bir көргеннен ғашық болдым өзіңе еркелеген балдай тәтті сөзіңе қылығыңмен баурап алдың жанымда қарай бердім нұрға толы жүзіңе пай-пай şirkin unutamaz kız Vay vay şirkin unutamaz kız Azap gülgen
Alright, let's do our first pause there. There was a lot that I liked about what we've heard already, so let's go over and do some analysis. If you don't want to hear the analysis, go to the timestamp here. Back to the very opening. It's a nostalgic opening. There's something about this chord progression and the falling motif we hear in the piano and the strings. Dimash is choosing to open with what I think is one of the most easily recognizable and catchy progressions you can have in music. This is called the circle of fifths. This is the circle of fifths and it basically shows what happens if you move down 5 notes consecutively. If you think of it on a keyboard, down 5 again, down 5 again. But if we keep moving like this, we'll very quickly fall off the edge of the piano. Things will get too low. So to combat that, we need to move up and down or down and up. So we start here and then we move down 5 and then instead of moving to here, we go to that same note but up, down 5, etc. So overall, we're moving down slowly, step by step. There's something about nostalgic music or music about longing for someone or something where this idea of falling works really well. By the way, what was that he receives at the start here? Is that some flowers from some of the deers? So we heard that descending sequence through the circle of fifths. Instead of that, now the accompaniment moves upwards. It's breaking away from the falling notion that we hear in the bass part. The arrangement is moving in opposite directions. It's opened up in anticipation of Dimash's first entry. And just to cause some extra anticipation before Dimash comes in, we hear this in the bass part, this chromatic inflection, and a tremolo in the violin. And then we get this lengthy silence. And I feel in music, in a performance like this, every second of silence feels much longer. And there's something quite raw about hearing the crowd so vividly. The screams, the shouts, the murmurs. It's engaging. So when he enters, his vocal line is exposed because the accompaniment has been reduced to just a piano part. And the piano part that we do here, it's playing a reduced version of the circle of fifths that we heard in the introduction.
Бір көргеннен ғашық болдым өзіңе еркелік.
So after that we get the chorus. Now the entry to the chorus.
Pay pay.
Here, pai pai, pai pai. What does pai pai mean? If I Google translate it, it just says pai pai phonetically. An ugly, unforgettable day compared to oh dearest, that unforgettable day. I guess Google Translate maybe isn't that accurate here. So pai pai is a Kazakh expression to mean like oh. Please let me know in the comments down below. So for the chorus, the musical texture is now thickened. You know, we have a variety of instruments that have come in. We even hear choir vocals in the background. At this moment too, it sounds like we have a guitar providing this moving, arpeggiated figure above the sustained low strings. It's like the contrast of movement, life continuing, going forward, versus static, the memories stuck in the past. And on that arpeggiated figure, we hear the piano and the guitar sharing this figure. They blend seamlessly into each other. And the amount of air Dimash chooses to use as well. So airy. If you watch my videos before, you'll know that I often find this use of air to be more emotional, or at least that style of singing affects me the most emotionally. And then when Dimash repeats that line of the chorus, on the repeat he does this very interesting glottal stop type thing. That kind of break in sound between the voices. And he does that before then rising up towards the end of the line, the end of the phrase, whereas last time he went down. Now this is where we paused. He seemed to start the next verse using his head voice. So let's carry on.
Жүрекке ешкім жүргіз алмас әмірі сөндір алмас сезімімнің шамын бақыттымын бұл әлемде сен екен тағдырыма тарту етсе тәңірім пай пай
Alright, looks like there was a bit of a change. Let's do a pause there and just go over some points from that previous minute or so we just listened to. So as we said just where we paused last time, Dimash has started to use his head voice now. We know he doesn't need to at this range. So we know when he repeats this later on, he can use his chest voice for one, variety, and two, the notion of growing into a performance as the performance goes on. Alright, so this section. That's here. I'd be the happiest in the world if destiny brought you to me. That's a very nice moment to choose to go and actually hold the hands of the crowd there. No, that's not something you see every day with performances. Also, what a position to be singing in there. I'm sure his diaphragm is, well, the opposite of open. Him going and doing this, yeah, it must have made all these dears so happy. Then we get the chorus again. I feel the music is a little bit reserved still. We do have a few prominent elements or parts. 1, Dimash. 2, the beat. It's this modern beat. I don't know why, but it's reminding me of The Matrix a little bit. We have that beat and the strings, which is my next point. The other element is the strings. Funny, maybe it's the exact same note, but it's actually a suspension at this moment. So we hear that note, but there's this part going, which is this suspension. And we hear it just afterwards, again very prominent. So there was another bit that I thought was quite cool. I noticed that they have the lyrics behind Dimash for the whole audience to see and sing along to. That says Pai Pai, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, and then the rest of the line looks the same as well. And that leads into this nice chorus effect. The chorus, you know, it's this feeling of togetherness, of unity, and we get a juicy chord as well. Alright, let's carry on for the next bit. Where we got to, it sounded like Dimash had just kind of unleashed his more operatic tenor voice. Alright, the tension's building. I'm in suspense for that infamous D8. It hasn't come yet, so, well, I guess it's gonna come in a bit. Yeah, so we'll just do another quick pause here for copyright reasons, and we'll just go over a few things from the last minute or so. Yeah, this bit made me smile when he's gone over to the fans again. Every single person in the audience here is gonna have their own unique video of seeing Dimash up that close. So from where we carried on, he's now using this powerful chest voice. He's not gone especially high yet. This is his highest note that we've heard, which is not especially high. That's a G sharp. That's pretty much towards the top of a tenor's expected range. But overall, he is keeping things quite reserved. And I'm not surprised with what's to come with the infamous high note. And in this section, there's not too much new stuff going on with the music. You know, it's mostly repeated. But we do get a trumpet entering, which I really like. That line there, that is these notes. C, F, B flat, so going around our circle of fifths. And the trumpet, it just brings a new timbre to the texture that we've not really heard so far, a brass timbre. It's different, I don't know, I think it's quite refreshing, to be honest. Alright, and a bit after that, now Dimash does go super high. This is this top C here, which I call the wow operatic tenor moment. And just after this, then we get some rhythmic variety. And I like how it sounds like there are multiple Dimashes here. But back to the rhythmic variety. That is a hemiola, where you get 3 beats played in the space of 2 regular beats. So 1, 2, 1, 2, the regular pattern. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then he goes into that blended voice of his. It's very much mostly his head voice, but it's that blend. There's some element of his chest voice, his full voice in there that give it this extra power. And that kind of more strained sound. You know, it's a bit more earthy. If you had a mere mortal such as myself singing that, it would have to be, you know, full head voice. And the effect that comes afterwards, that was quite cool. Alright, let's continue to the end. I'm expecting a big climactic final moment, and of course, the famous note. Sorry. Oh, it's so clearly got a pitch as well. He slides up to it. No, again. Wow. A bit speechless, really. It's absurd. It's absurd. The only other real whistles that I've heard in these reactions that I've been doing is Gabriel and Hiki. But Dimash here just straight in, sliding up to it. And it was funny, I don't know if you heard, but there were some whistles in the audience going on, trying to kind of replicate it. As in, like, actual whistles. Let me try find 1 or 2. Alright, so here goes Dimash. And then in a few seconds, oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's almost on the point of being a bit silly, isn't it? A bit absurd, but yeah, ridiculous. All right, let's just finish up with a couple of things of note. This is the first time we hear the countertenor Dimash, or the male soprano Dimash. You know, with that much purer head voice. There's no blend to that head voice sound. It's, much more pure, kind of a bit more angelic. And it works better as well when he's doing these vocalizations to an or kind of sound, like we saw a lot in Ave Maria. And then to finish, he moved back to the blended voice. See how he transitioned into the blended voice from more of a chest voice there. Finishing with his airy voice. Alright, well there we go. Unforgettable Day Gakku. I can see why everyone was recommending this since the first time I ever heard him. That's ridiculous. The whistle D8. absurd. And it's nice to see another original composition of Dimash. I know there are more out there that I do need to react to. Don't worry, they're all on my list for future reactions. Alright, well, let's leave it there. Thank you to everyone who recommended that one. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. Comment down below other reactions by Dimash you'd like me to do in the future. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, join the community, vote on future polls, you can do so by joining the Patreon or YouTube memberships linked below. And I will see you next time.